dinosaurs were let out. The
Yep.
prehistoric
And there's
ages
a
went
boardroom
crazy.
somewhere full of white people, and they're like, "Yeah, but the gains,
It's true.
The gains, bro.
And then they
the
made
gains."
Jurassic World is treated like Sea World. And it's like, bro, do
Yeah.
you understand that you have a crocodile in this place that'll fucking destroy any structure you could possibly build? Like that alligator was so big, bro.
I have
Like
a big
imagine that
alligator.
shit just jumping out of the out of the water into the crowd. I find that shit so funny. Like it's much easier to contain a fucking killer whale than it is a fucking prehistoric animal. Like
But do you have a
in
prehistoric
part
animal? How do
three.
you know?
Just think that
Listen,
instead of
bro.
like the Tiger King, we'd have like the Dino King. Imagine that Netflix series.
I mean, you
Fucking Carol
definitely have some people
Baskin
who are
tried
taking
her husband
care of.
to a fucking Velociraptor. Fire.
Yeah, yo, you would definitely have somebody who's like a dealer of smaller reptiles and dinosaurs, and that would be like a thing. There'd be a black market for that.
Hell yeah.
But for like a fucking
Dino eggs for sale.
a T-Rex, like nah, boy.
I bought a T-Rex once.
We have to give it back.
Had to give it back. He wouldn't. He wouldn't stop barking.
But yo, what I want to tell you, welcome to another episode of VGXL. I'm your host Daniel, aka Games. Joining us today again is Adocad and El Torrente, aka Dakota and Jose, and we have the beautiful Fefer joining us. Hi, Fefer.
Hi.
What's up, Steph?
Hey, what's up?
Episode 20, we're back, baby. I know we were on hiatus for a couple of weeks. That was my bad. We went to the magical world of Disney World, and yeah, it was fun. It was a good time.
How was it?
Nice.
I mean,
How do you feel when you're over there? Because I hear things.
it feels crazy when you walk in because of how
I
like
hear it's magical.
Oh, all right.
bro, when they put
Scared.
the fairy dust on you, just start flying. That shit is wild, bro. I was just like flying and shit. I was like, woo.
Do you when they put the fairy dust?
Yeah, you know Peter Pan.
That's wild, bro.
Oh, we're smoking fairy
How
dust.
potent was this fairy dust?
Oh.
PCP. Don't smoke that.
Did you have to ingest it through your nose by chance?
Fairy dust. Nah, but it
Somebody
was.
I will
comes up
say,
to
like,
you with a little baggie and says, "Hey man, you want some of this fairy dust?" You know that shit is fucking. This dude's up to no good.
You gotta say yes, though. Never
You
say
have
no
to.
to that.
You never
Exactly.
say no to fairy dust.
Oh man,
No.
but
Throwing fucking wings.
But yeah, no, it was a good time. I mean, you know, I almost screwed up because when we bought the tickets like a month ago to the plane tickets and booked the hotel, my parents had timeshare that they already had booked. And then like 3 days before we're like that Thursday or Friday before we took off, no, that Thursday before we were going on the plane, I went to go buy the tickets. And what happens? You have to reserve the date you're going to go because of COVID. So everything was unavailable except for a freaking Epcot Center, which if you've never been, it's cool, but it's probably one of the weaker parks or whatever. Well, I think Hollywood Studios is probably the weakest one, but when it comes to rides, it's one of the weaker ones. Magic Kingdom is the best one. Then Universal Studios, which is not Disney, but it's there, and that also unavailable. Everything was unavailable. So if you're listening to this, you're planning on going to Disney, don't make my mistake. And then we get to Epcot, right? And we buy. They let us. I bought my tickets, right? They give us the card to scan in, and then when we go to the second gate to scan in, they're like, guys, like, it's not working. Did you reserve today? And he was like, I don't think you reserved today. You need to go to customer relations. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? So I opened my email real quick, and thankfully, that's, like I said, it's not the best park, but it does hold the most people. So there was still reservations left for that day. So luckily we got in, but it was a good time. It was a good time.
I got you.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's awesome.
Which I did for the last couple
what
of
rides
weeks.
do they have there? Do they have like Indiana Jones there? Or?
No, this one that would be more universal.
Sad.
This one is Epcot is more educational in a sense with some Disney sprinkled in. So everything is it's a little bit of Disney with educational stuff, like kind of like throwing in like fun stuff though, you know. And then you have the country, so you can walk through like I forget, like 10 or 20 different countries, like Mexico and Japan, and then you can buy stuff like things, and then the workers are all from the countries too. So we went to the Japanese store, it was Japanese run except for the managers. So you have like the Japanese at the register serving the food, and then I hear number 45, and I look over at some little old white man. Like I was like, of course. Looked at right, Fefer. That shit was so weird.
That was so funny. You hear the loudest one, just like little short, round man, just like, your order's up.
I was like, what the hell? But it's cool because you can drink beer from all the countries. They serve alcohol, which is awesome. So you can drink beer from Germany, from France, and all that, Italy. And they have restaurants in every single one of the countries, so you can eat from those countries as well. So it's cool. Like I said, it's an experience. It's just, Fefer never went, and the kids, obviously that was their first time. They loved it. They had a great time. And
Yeah,
then,
when in Norway we went on the Frozen ride.
yeah, the Frozen ride. So that
it
was like
a little
Disney.
water ride. It was really fun. It was really cool.
That was actually pretty cool. Like
So-
It was nice.
you see like little bits. We can talk forever, but it was cool. It was cool. Like I still recommend. If you've never been, I recommend all the parks at least once or whatever. But yeah. So we missed out on Universal, but you know what? They make you put the mask on the whole time. So one park, and then it was the hottest day of the week there, even though every other day was like 70, 80 degrees. It was like 90 degrees that day, so it was hot on top of that shit. So
Yeah, that sounds really hot. Shit.
yeah, but there was one ride where it pretends like you're going to space. That one was really cool. Everyone has their own role. It feels like a video game, like it's a 4-man squad. You all have your own role. You actually have to push buttons, and then it spins. You can't tell it's spinning because you're inside something, but it makes you feel like you're like launching because your freaking face feels like that.
Oh, I got you. Yeah.
So even
That
though
was
it's
really fun.
educational, it's still really cool. Like there's some, like, again, it's worth the one experience at the minimum. But yeah, not for thrill rides though. But yeah, you guys do anything interesting last couple of weeks? Play anything?
I just been recovering from rotator cuff surgery, so lots of sleeping, sitting around, not lots of moving.
Oh
Trying to
yeah.
not mess with it. So I dyed my hair.
Oh, that's right.
Hey.
I didn't
That's
even
about it,
notice.
so, yeah. Yeah.
Dude, your hair was always blonde.
Yeah, right.
True. I was a natural blonde.
Right.
Are you
Sad.
planning on changing it to any other colors since it's blonde? It's easier to do different colors.
I don't know. You know what? Since I was like really, really young, I always wanted to dye green because of there was this other character that had like green hair that I wanted to be like. So I always wanted to do it. So I might do that just for shits and giggles. I don't know.
I mean,
I'll see.
hey, like you
Worst
said,
case
you're
scenario,
home.
You shave it off.
Yeah, exactly. It's already growing back. It's already like kind of brown underneath it. So
Oh,
it
yeah,
lasted
I
for
got
like 4 days maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
You've been working on a lot of stuff, right, Jose? A lot going on.
Yeah, I mean, I've been taking care of these music videos for a group by the name of Lost Becomes.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been doing a lot of shooting with them and doing like introspective videos with them and editing a whole lot. And between that and work, it's been a crazy little few weeks. Barely any sleep, but hey, sleep when I'm dead.
Right? Gotta get that energy up, bruh.
Yeah, man. Fuck it.
Yeah, I hear that. But yeah, so I mean, I guess we can continue from where we left off. I don't know. Want to bring us into our next segment there? AutoCAD, do you have your thing ready or no? I don't know.
I sure do, man. It's time for the news. Yeah.
Yay.
Hasn't gotten old yet to
That
me yet.
shit, imagine hearing that on a loop for like a year.
Oh God.
It's just a form of fucking torture. Just that shit over and over. Oh my God.
Still
Yes.
popping in Guantanamo.
I got the biggest.
Yes.
I got the biggest news for you guys. Biggest news.
I'm ready.
Freaking
Oh shit.
Lady Dimitrescu's shoe size. That's the big woman from Resident Evil 8. We finally have her
Oh my
freaking shoe
God.
size.
Oh,
It is
Oh my God.
ready.
wow, bro. I was just
17
thinking about that yesterday.
Size 17, or is that what it is? 17 inches in the United States? Well, she has 17-inch foot, so I'm assuming that's about the size of her
Don't
foot.
step on me,
I mean,
mommy.
ooh.
Yeah,
So what is it? She's like-
17-inch foot.
So that's like Shaquille O'Neal. Like Yao
That's a big
Ming.
foot.
You ever seen Deuce
That's a little
Bigelow?
bit too powerful for me, dog.
Right? You ever seen
Yeah,
that scene from
huge
Deuce
bitch.
Bigelow? That huge. He's like putting oil on her feet, and her foot is like
Oh,
mad big.
Uh,
Her freaking whole foot fits on like
That
right
was-
on her chest.
somebody for everybody.
That was an Adam Sandler. Adam Sandler. That was a Happy Madison film.
I don't know.
I would imagine.
It feels like it should be.
I saw
Adam
the dude at the airport
Sandler-
one time. It's hilarious.
Yeah,
You saw who?
What was it, Roy Schneider?
Rob. Yeah.
Oh,
Rob Schneider. Yeah, so right. Yeah, saw him at the airport. I think I was flying into California, which makes sense. And
Oh yeah, and you said he was
flying
being
commercial.
He was
like a
actually being
loser.
cool, right? Like, damn, you're like an actor.
flying commercial like a basic bitch.
Right? Was he at least in first class, or he was in?
You know what? Probably I'll give him that because I didn't see him after that.
Probably was in
But
first class. I mean,
Maybe
come
just
on.
like premium. You know what I mean? Like he was just at an exit row or some shit.
Right.
Yeah, now that's crazy. You see that dude, the fact that he was even on a craft with the common folk just goes to show you why
Well, he was
He
never
is-
that big.
he isn't as respected
I mean, he worked
as
with Stallone.
other
He's
comic
worked with
elites.
some big names, bro. He should. I mean, he got paid. You know, little.
Yeah, he's worked with. He wasn't the.
I know.
So.
Well, he had some starring roles, and
He was in Home Alone too, bro.
I
So
mean,
was
he
Donald
probably got a
Trump,
little
but
money
no one
stashed
talked about
away.
that.
Even if it was like $1 million to be.
Come on,
the-
you remember that? He still got that money, that money that Kevin didn't give him.
Yeah, because he flies commercial. Exactly.
Remember when he did this
That's
and
it.
Kevin gave him gum? You give gum to a motherfucker that flies commercial. Kevin knew that and Kevin respected that. Kevin's whole family was first class. The kids weren't coach only. You remember that?
Yeah, that's right.
Mhm.
I love to. I love that meme that just kind of reminds you. It's like, all right, so Kevin's dad had like 7 kids, the wife, this big ass house. He paid for
What?
the entire vacation.
It's that CIA
What did
shit.
this man do?
Yeah,
What
they
was
never
his
showed
job?
what he did because they showed what the
He was
mom
it.
did. We know
Right.
what the mom. She's a seamstress, and I didn't
Right, yeah,
realize that
exactly.
until we rewatched it this past Christmas, and she had all the mannequins in the basement. I was like, oh, that's where they
Yeah.
get some of their money from. Maybe it was
So
a
she's
house
out here
dad.
darning socks, and they paying for like 10 people vacation.
Yo, bro.
Crazy.
Kevin McAllister was a drug kingpin.
Was?
I don't know why. I don't know why people don't realize that my man had drug money. You understand how much money it takes to fly your whole family to France? And
That's
then yo,
true,
he was just
yeah.
throwing money away like nothing. He paid for all that pizza. That shit alone, I would have been like, yo, come over here, yo. Y'all better quick pay me.
Y'all got Zelle? You got Venmo? Nah, we
Yo,
don't.
who got? I know y'all motherfuckers got Venmo and PayPal. Y'all got something.
Oh man,
I driving motherfuckers to the ATM,
It's very
paying
possible, man.
like $300 worth of pizza like it was nothing, and he was like, "Oh, sorry, you guys, you want some eggnog?" Like, motherfucker, no,
Charge it, bro.
for real.
charge
Put on
it.
my tab, hope.
Again, Animal Crossing now got that the new Animal Crossing New Horizons. They got the Build-A-Bear collection just launched today, April 6th. The time is recording. So that's
Nice.
big news. That's pretty cool.
People were upset though. They don't have Celeste,
Who's Celeste again?
Oh, wait, which one
Ladder's
is what?
sister. The owl.
Oh, that's right. I thought I saw something about people being mad, but people always mad. That's legit.
Yeah.
Don't forget to check on Etsy. You can find some premium stuff on there.
Some primo, nice.
And the other big news,
Stuff.
some Twitch news. Amaranth, the booby streamer who does all kinds of stuff on Twitch, freaking dethrones Pokemon as the top female streamer on Twitch. And I had when we
I'm not
first
surprised at all.
when we first started on Twitch, I remember seeing that was like that's where the whole like misconception first started, and we saw that is right when Jurassic Park Revolution
Wait.
came out, and she was walking around like a freaking Velociraptor. That shit was hilarious. I was like, I like this girl. She was hilarious. She had me dying. Cause she's
Yeah, and then like the other time we saw her, she was painting with Pokemon or something.
oh yeah,
We're like,
that's
wow,
right.
she's doing a lot of different things. She was acting like a dinosaur, all that.
And not for
Like,
nothing,
okay.
like y'all can say what you want about the way she dresses. She actually puts
She's
on like
versatile.
funny and weird content, and I followed her for a while, but it got to the point where I was, I just see her streams like, all right, like I ended up unfollowing because I was just like, it's a little bit much for my taste, but yeah, I mean, hey, she's not, if people think that shit is crazy, not for nothing, she actually does try, and it's not like she's just there playing a whack video where her boobs out. Like, she actually be trying to be funny. She paints, she plays video games, like she does a lot of shit. So I'm not surprised that people actually enjoy the
But her
content.
boobs are out, right?
But yeah, she does dress in very skimpy clothing, but
I won't knock that hustle though.
that gets you simps.
too.
This is the misconception. That type of dressing on stream gets you simps. It doesn't get you fans. When you have good content, then you the only reason women have any kind of advantage is the simp culture that exists on Twitch, where you will get men who will just see a pretty girl and they'll start talking you up. After a while,
I mean, is there a difference though? Because
There
culture
is.
is providing hundreds of thousands for OnlyFans.
I mean,
workers.
but then that's what, then you know what they're going for. So those guys are, this is like an indirect. Like, what I'm saying is, OnlyFans guys are going there because they know what they want. They want to see boobs. They like, they see the pretty face. They want to see that. But on Twitch, I'm sure it's not her subscriber base or her like average viewer count is probably like in the thousands. And I'm sure it's not all just a bunch of dudes who want to see a half naked woman when you could just, you know what I'm saying? Yes, I'm sure there's a chunk of it there, but her content is entertaining on top of that. So I'm sure you got the, they coincide with each other. You know what I mean? I've seen girls on there half naked, half dressed, and they're boring, and they have literally like 5 viewers. And you have the ones that try with that. Like I'm saying, it gives you more of a launch pad, but that's it. You know what I mean? You go up, like you might start 10 feet higher than the average dude who starts, but you know what I mean? Because that's what happened with Fefer. She had guys just chopping like, "Hey, beautiful, what's going on?" And it was like, really, But so it's just like,
Nice.
but like I said, after a while,
Hey, beautiful baby girl,
right?
You're so cute. Oh my god.
Like I
That's
said,
where boundaries are set.
exactly. But that's all I got.
Show them you have none.
Bro, I'm just gonna hit the gym, get a 6-pack, and I'm gonna be the first dude to be on fucking Twitch wearing like the littlest tank tops and making girl simp.
Right? Them 80s style,
thank
like
you,
belly
thank you,
shirts.
Cherrylicious.
They exist.
Thank you, Cherrylicious, for the $700 super chat.
Yeah.
God, you're amazing.
I mean, female simps exist. I had one. Remember Fefer?
I'll be playing Dance Dance Revolution shirtless. You'll catch me on Twitter like, hey guys, I don't know why, I don't know how long the ban is gonna last. I'll keep you guys updated. As far as I know, I didn't break any terms.
Just do a hot tub
crazy.
stream.
So many people get away with much worse, and here I am. Like, I'll be one of those people.
That's the new thing, hot tub streams. Have you heard about that?
Know the people who try to plead their case.
I have, yeah.
Hot tub streams.
Yeah, that's where
Bro.
because remember, the whole excuse of having your shirt off or wearing a bikini is if you're in the right situation. So girls have figured that out. Well, guys and girls have figured out that they can stream in a hot tub and then they'll wear something skimpy saying I'm in a hot tub. It's become
by a pool.
Like exactly. So they'll be streaming from that, and that's
What
the
a new
workaround.
Beach, y'all.
You girls are really out there fucking the system.
Yeah. But yeah, that's a thing. Hey, I respect the hustle, man. I respect it.
Man.
Anybody who hates on this, like,
any form of streaming, entertainment, content creation, I never hate on that, especially when it comes to there's too many people online who go crazy on women in particular. Like they try to go crazy hard on the fact that, like, I see where you're coming from with the advantage or whatever, but bro, there's people who just like, you sound crazy if you just out here shitting on nothing but women, right?
Exactly.
Like, do that shit amongst your peers or something, and if it's fact, it's fact. But you sound crazy putting it on Twitter. Like, every time I see a dude talking shit on YouTube about a female streamer, it's like some fucking British dude who nobody knows about. And like, what the fuck is wrong with you dudes? Like, you guys, I get it. You're mad that somebody's blowing up off of something that they're not really great at, and it's all their looks or whatever. But dude, like, who do you?
Well, that's
Who
what it
gives a
is. They're
fuck?
just it's all disgruntled. They want that attention.
But the thing is,
Yeah.
half the time, it's not that the girls are boring though. That's the shit that kills me. Is that half the time these women who do happen to dress like that are lively. They play multiple games, just like Amaranth. Yeah, she looks like that's how she's getting all her money, and I'm sure a chunk of that is guys who just care about that. But her content's good. It's all right. You know, like there's an audience for the actual content. Like I said, she paints, she freaking dances,
Right.
she does funny like impressions, like she tries. You know what I mean? It's not like she's just there. And I've seen girls, like I said, literally silent playing video games with their boobs half out, like though, and they don't have that kind of viewership. To get that kind of viewership, you have to be some kind of entertaining to keep those guys there. So it's like I said, it's a double. It's
Yeah,
I
like
wouldn't call it
everybody
double-edged sword,
knows.
but yeah.
I'm gonna have to
Yeah,
research this for a long time tonight.
I get what you're saying.
Was
Like,
it- yeah.
her viewership. There's only so many people who are gonna be watching you for those reasons. Like, she blew up for a reason.
Exactly. Yo, I
You
think
know, it was kind of like that girl Sniper Wolf.
I think we're delayed again.
Like that
I was
girl
just
Sniper
gonna
Wolf. That
yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm
we
super
are.
delayed.
Yeah, I only got the delay on you,
I'm not
Daniel.
sure.
Yeah, that's who it seems delayed for me too. Yeah. All right, but go on.
Yeah, no, I was just saying, like, Sniper Wolf blew up because she was playing games like Call of Duty and Overwatch, and people didn't want to believe like that this hot girl was beating their ass, or they would show they didn't even know her, and they'd be like, "Oh, you fucking like," they'd get toxic and talk shit, you know,
Yeah.
because they get beat up.
Why
And
don't you make me a sandwich, man?
yeah, they'd say stupid shit, and then they find out, oh, it's
Joking.
Sniper Wolf. She's you know, she looks how she looks or whatever, and it's kind of like, bro, her content at one point was actually entertaining though. Like now she just does shitty reaction videos, but she got really big because at first her content was pretty cool, like all the video game shit she would put up, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
But she
It just
she
kind of
stopped
sucks
doing that.
because it just kind of sucks because even anytime any sort of female gets some sort of attention, there's always some dude talking about, oh, she's only getting all this attention because of her boobs. I mean, let's say even Games, you remember I told you recently about that one girl with the queefing?
Yeah, the queef. Yeah, dudes got so
They're like,
mad at
what
that
are
shit.
we on? Twitch or are we on Chatterbait? Just because she was in a just chatting and said, hey guys, you want to hear me queef? Like, okay, fine.
Somebody
like,
asked her that.
It was entertaining. She
Exactly.
sucked in air. She's like, you heard the air go in, you hear it go,
Oh.
and then she goes, it goes right out. And then
And-
of course, like, we have to take action.
Yeah, and somebody
And
asked her,
pretend
said
that
she was
it's
like, "Oh, the
not-
queef thing, all right." They were like, "Yeah, I guess I could do it." And you know, it wasn't like she was just there, like, "Hey guys, you like this?" You know, it wasn't even like
Exactly.
that.
She's not there going like, hey guys, hear me queef again.
Queef chat.
You know?
Dudes would not care if I say, "Yo, I can make my dick burp." Nobody would be mad at that. He'd be like, "Really?" You know?
Wait, can you?
Yo,
Can
guys, you want-
You never told me
Imagine
about this.
Yo, guys, you want to see my dick? You want to hear my dick whistle?
Exactly.
The fuck?
I think the answer would be yes. Resounding yes.
Nobody would be mad at that. It's just that dudes
Like, give
can't.
that penis a contract. That was amazing.
Cock
That's
tracks.
fucking stupid.
Oh man.
Somebody signed that dick.
Right? What do you what you got for us, Dakota?
All right. So another news. Today again, April 6th, the Overwatch Archives event dropped. So as you know, like every year
Yeah.
Overwatch has their event. And this year's no different. So they added a few things. There's like a whole reward system now. So they have challenges that you do in Uprising, Retribution, and Storm Rising. So that along with a few new skins, pretty fire. I haven't even touched Overwatch in a long time. Jose, I know you're big in that. Have you been on it recently?
What, Overwatch?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was on it 2 days ago and I was fucking going crazy.
Nice.
Like I was really busting ass. I was surprised at myself.
Nice. You're drunk, right?
Yeah. I mean, as a Junkrat, I know for a lot of people that's a no go. It's like, oh my god, because as everyone knows, if you're an Overwatch player, Overwatch has one of the most toxic communities. So if
Sure
you say
does.
you're a Junkrat, everybody's like, oh, you're just a spammer, and it's like, nah, bro, I will get in your face, bust your ass, and then leave. Because he has those detonators, how you could get yourself out of tight jams, you know.
Could be
Exactly.
worse,
Why
man.
main
Could
him?
be Hanzo main. So
Oh no, Hanzo, Hanzo
Be
made.
worse.
I remember there was a meme where somebody had a sign up at a Trump rally and it said Trump mains Hanzo.
that's awesome.
So funny,
Yeah, that's fuck. That's great.
especially when he had his scatter
Other than
arrow.
that, oh, see, his scatter arrow was fire though. I'm mad that they nerfed that because that, I don't know. I didn't see the
They
problem.
got rid of
with
it
That was
entirely.
great. Yeah, they fucking
Crazy.
that other shit was whack.
Yep.
But anyways, moving on. Something that I care about deeply, and I'm sure you guys do too as well.
Yes.
But season 2 of The Witcher is done filming. They just wrapped it up. So hopefully we start getting some trailers and some news about that.
Oh yeah, I can't wait.
Season 1 was fire.
Yeah, I
loved
enjoyed.
it.
I actually watched. We all actually watched the whole thing of season 1. So,
Yeah.
and I don't watch a lot of
Yeah.
TV lately. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
Henry Cavill, you could tell he's a fan. You could tell he's definitely passionate about it because he's done an amazing job. And
Yeah,
who would've
like-
I would never thought watching him in anything that he's ever done before this. I would have never been like, yeah, this is the dude. He's gonna be a fucking fantastic Geralt.
Exactly.
Like,
Like
what?
the field,
I love
everything.
Henry Cavill's dope.
Yeah, he's amazing. So,
In
anyways,
my,
I'm hyped.
that's sick. I need to finish season 1 actually.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, you
good.
do, man. The
Yes, you
fighting in
do.
that, the effects were amazing.
Yeah.
like, the story, the way they were faithful with things, like it was
Yeah,
really well done.
I was impressed.
And that's it for news from me. To be honest, I didn't have too much. Not a lot came out. Some, like Game Pass got a bunch of games, but I don't know if that's like really news. But Game Pass did get a shit ton of games with everything that Bethesda added.
Yeah.
And then with the EA Pass, so
And then they got Outriders. That was the big news that I forgot to
And then,
mention. That
yeah, on
Outriders.
console,
That was a
yeah.
big deal. They are having like server issues right
Big
now,
one.
but but that was I was. It's a fun game. I gotta say that game. I've been addicted. I literally played all day yesterday. No, today's Tuesday. Right? Shit. I played Sunday. I was playing that shit all day. Played a bunch yesterday. I played on stream. And then I played a little bit earlier today. It's like I've been on that game. It's a fun little game. And somebody made the joke like, oh, so what? It's what they said. It's Anthem without the flying. I'm like, exactly. It's like it makes me sad that Anthem is such a simple formula, and Anthem fucked it up. And I'm like, this game is not recreating the wheel in any aspect. It's just a fun cover shooter. And I'm like, yo, the flying in Anthem could have just been so cool. Just have a freaking drop system, which they didn't have. They had a shitty drop where every gun literally looked the same. That shit boggled my mind. Like, all you need is a couple of some cool free skins.
We know what happened with that game, though.
Yeah, Anthem is no more. That is it.
So.
I just don't think they want
That's
to
also
give
on
it
Game
away
Pass,
for
though,
free.
so.
It is on Game Pass.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Tragic.
what you
But
got
not
for
for
us?
nothing, Outriders, the shooting feels really good.
I know.
I haven't played a looter shooter in a while, and it feels really good shooting. So I'm gonna get on that a little bit more.
Now, did you guys play lots of Gears of War? Did you like Gears of War a lot?
Back in the day, I didn't play none of the newer ones, but back in the day, we played the shit out of Gears of War. You actually really like Gears of War, right, Fefer? I mean, you used to play that shit crazy.
Yeah, it was good. That was fun. I like the what did we do? The waves, the hordes. Or
Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, no, Gears of War. If you like Gears of War, that game really has like that mayhem, that crazy feel to it. And remember you said you were stuck because it was hard. You can change the the world tier, but I feel like I didn't. It didn't feel as difficult. It still can be difficult, but once you get your if you can mess around with the tier, especially just for the story, just to clear the story, because then the better drops come later anyway. So that world tier system is cool. All the different upgrades you have, it's a lot, and it's really cool. The story is great. There's lore, like little journals you find And I gotta say, like, I stop and read all of them, and they're worth reading. Like, they're fun to read. Like, it really opens up the world, and I like that a lot. It gives a very Mass Effect feel. So, that's why I'm like, people are trying to hate on it because it's just another looter shooter, but I'm like, nah. I'm like, it is. Don't get me wrong. It's just another, but it actually has a coherent story, decent lore. Like, I really enjoying the lore, and just the shooting is just addictive. It has the simple recipe for a great looter shooter. But yeah,
That's dope. Are you playing co-op or just mostly by yourself?
for now it's just been by myself. Fefer's getting into the console and PC aren't playing together. I play with one of my other online Twitch friends, and me and him played a bit, and that was cool.
Gotcha.
That was really cool today. I finally played with someone today, and that was really awesome. But yeah, console, I'm on PC, but console and Fefer's downloaded on the Xbox. But I just said start playing through the early stuff, and then by the time they patch that, which I'm sure it'll be this week or early next week, but by the time they patch all that, we can play together. It's pretty easy. It's a code system, which is kind of cool. You give them the code, you join the game. Boom. So just no chat though. So we're gonna have to be on like Discord or something or figure that out. But you are on Xbox. Sorry, just my last thought is that I forget, since Fefer's on Xbox, I mean, you could do an Xbox party. I could chat with you like that, so you don't have to go into Discord on your PC. So that'll be cool. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, what you got for us?
Okay, for me, E3 2021 is going to be taking place as a free virtual conference.
Yeah.
And they're aiming for, going back to the old format in person in 2022. My question for everyone is, do we care? Right?
That is a good question. Yeah.
Like, I don't feel like this shit matters. I feel like E3 has just been treating people like shit, and they just also dropped the ball in terms of excitement and promo. Like, they just don't promote their shit the way they used to. They got real lazy on this shit. It's like it's gonna be the end of an era, but I'm very happy with just letting it go.
I think so too.
Seeing what maybe the Video Game Awards, we have a lot of other stuff. We have the PlayStation conference the Sony conference they always put out. We have Tokyo Game Show. We have the Video Game Awards, which also fucking dropped the ball for me back in December. But we have a lot of other places that you could kind of spread this info to. E3 is just, it's not what it was, and I just feel like it's time to let that shit go.
And I think Keely's gonna definitely, I don't know, he's really trying to make this Summer Games thing a big deal. Also, really quick, I saw on Twitter someone try to bash him. They were like, oh, is it gonna be like little bits and pieces over the course of 3 months or what? And he responded to them, and he was like, it's all gonna be within 1 month this time, so it's gonna be a lot more condensed. And so it's gonna be like news every freaking week. It seems like that to me sounds way cooler. Like, do like a whole July or middle of July to the middle of August type of deal. I forgot what the date was for the Summer Games Fest, but yeah, like that's cool. Like, I think that's really cool.
Nice. Okay.
It is pretty cool. Yeah, like that's I'm happy to hear that they're going that route with it, and kind of when you have it condensed, it's kind of like you're giving people so much at once. Kind of feels like, that's how I used to feel about E3, where it'd be like, oh shit, did you hear about all the shit that they got announced today? Oh, it's crazy. You don't get that feeling anymore. It's just kind of like, the fuck, what bullshit's gonna happen this time?
They kind of killed in the last couple, because I think 2018 and 2019, if I'm not mistaken, everything was coming out in May, and then so all the biggest announcements were coming out over the course of May, and then we had E3, and then they would either repeat some of it, or it was very lackluster news because they blew their load in a month before. So that's what really, they killed themselves to me. And so when it didn't happen in 2020, I didn't even give a shit, because the Game Awards took over. Sony had their event, which which sucks because they killed their own event as well. And yeah, like, it was already deteriorating because of that. There was nothing to look forward to, like you said, because everything was coming out the weeks prior, because everyone wanted to get their little attention in instead of that little 3-minute section, at E3 that everyone forgets about it, so.
Right. Yeah. In other news, which is, it's actually kind of linked to E3. There was a canceled Castlevania game that was recently found. It resurfaced and it was lost. It was a prototype, and it was for a game that was supposed to come out for Dreamcast, which was something that you probably heard
Yeah.
about in years ago. Like, you know, you probably heard that in the past. But yeah, you know, basically this guy who is like kind of, he's like a one man guy, a one man team who's dedicated to preserving Sega games. You know, anything that happens to do with, you know, Sega games, commercials, any technology that came out from that era, this guy is known for preserving it, and he's like kind of like a historian in that, you know, in that sense. And the
Nice.
guy had a copy of this fucking game that's obviously not finished yet, but it's a playable demo of this, you know, this Castlevania game. It's called Castlevania Resurrection, and it actually, they announced that game for the first time in E3 of 1999, and it never came
Oh,
to be. But this demo predates E3 1999. Like, this demo was out beforehand, so it's pretty cool to see that that's kind of something still lingering around.
did
You
you
know,
see any of it? Like, do you know if it was
That
like
is
supposed to
dope.
be a
That's cool.
3D or a 2D Castlevania?
it was a 3D game. There's a video of it and everything.
Oh shit, that's
Yep.
fire.
There's a video of it and everything. There's been a lot of that recently. Actually, I feel like, did you guys hear about like a bunch of prototypes of
Yes.
PS2 were found recently?
Yeah, or there was that,
Like,
yeah, that group that they were dedicated, that they had all the E3 stuff from over the years, and they just dumped it all, I think, on the net, right? Did they dump it all on the net or something?
yeah,
Uh, that's
yeah, it was a
good.
bunch. It was
Cool.
like, it was. They say that there are currently 752 games and demos uploaded as part of the collection. That's insane.
That's
You
fire.
know. Yeah. So this is like a, there's a full list of the prototypes online, but pretty much this is like a real massive kind of release. They just put out all this shit that is just like, I'm talking 007 games and crazy Airblade, Alias, like just all these titles that weren't even released in Japan. You know, like these games never even came out there. They were canceled before they could even release out there. They released demos of
That's
these. It's
fire.
crazy.
Yo, I might have to do that because I have an addiction to emulation. So, like, I might maybe just make like a little
Yeah.
like freaking have like a section just, you know, in my collection for that. Because physical, I'm not gonna spend the money to get everything physical. So me, I'm about preserving the experience. So if it's all, to me, all I care about is the controller that was dedicated to the game, that, you know, like the intended way to play, even if it's on a computer. Like, I don't really care what hardware is running it. You know, I'm not a purist when it comes to that, but I am, you know, I'd love the like preserving the experiences, and that's pretty cool. Like, that might be something I didn't even think about that until right now. Like, maybe I should just have
Whoa.
try to get that shit. Oh, what's up?
Like, I'm looking at this list and it's bugging me out. Like, Bloody Roar 4, Blood Rain 2. They have like several different versions of the Bloody Roar 4 demo.
That's cool.
Like, it's fucking nuts.
Sad part is some
Buffy
of
the
these games were
Vampire
canceled because they
Slayer.
were not good. So
Yeah,
Like
I'm
Buffy the
sure.
Vampire Slayer.
And but
just,
in
it
the
just sucks when you.
yeah, go ahead.
Oh wow, no, I was just saying. It just sucks when you know that there's probably a few cool ones sprinkled in there.
Yeah,
They even have a Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty Trial Edition prototype.
yeah. See, that's
on this
cool because
list.
these are not just like canceled games. A lot of
Yeah,
some of them are
that's cool.
E3 demos. So I'm like, that's pretty cool.
Right,
Just the like the preservation of that. And
cool.
I was gonna say something like Castlevania probably didn't come out because Dreamcast was
Wow.
already failing by the end of '99. You know, they already knew it was gonna fail. I'm sure it was just one of those things where it's like they had up, you know, the vertical slice ready, but it was failing. So, you know, which is kind of sad.
This list that I'm reading off of right here, this list that I'm reading off right here, this is the PlayStation list.
Okay.
And then you have the other Castlevania demo. I think this is just gonna be something we're seeing more of.
Yeah.
It feels like people are kind of, you know, I don't know if it's a form of showing like how ill you are in the collecting world or whatever, or like the world of preservation. But
Archivists
if
are
you could drop some like, yeah, they're serious about this shit. Like, here you have shit that I've never seen. You know what I mean? So it's pretty cool. Like a Mega Man Anniversary Collection prototype. never came out.
Yeah, see, look at that.
You
That's
know,
what I'm saying. Like, yeah,
what the
archivists
fuck?
are like serious about this shit, and it's like it may not even be so much as clout as it is just like, oh, I'm sure a little bit within that community, but you know, I'm sure it's you know, it's a big deal. I mean, I think that's cool as fuck. You know, it's it just harkens back to a time that you never, you know, as a kid you would have dreamed. This would be a dream at 16, at you know, between 12 and like 17 years old. You know, to find like these prototypes and you know, shit like that. So pretty cool stuff. I think it's just like, you know, living vicariously in the future now. But
Kids
yeah.
are good, man. They'll never understand.
Yeah, but that's it for me, man.
All right, Fefer, what do you got? You got some news for us? You got
So
our
I do just want to add in, since mentioning the Dreamcast, I'm not sure if you already saw this games, but did you see that Shenmue 3 is going to be in the humble bundle, the humble choice for this month?
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
I gotta finish that shit. It's like at the
Yes.
time it was just like I had just finished part 1 and part 2, so playing part 3 I was worn out. So I think I'm ready,
Yeah.
especially after finishing Yakuza or whatnot. I
Yes.
think I'm ready to go back to Shen. And then on PC I get to at least see the prettier graphics. So no, I
And
did
you go
not
back
see
to
that.
Yakuza.
Yeah, exactly.
Wild.
I wish they would have just given that shit to those guys, because they, you know, like just, but they would have killed it. I think you know, it's not a Yakuza game, even if it feels has some resemblance. It's just not the silliness of Yakuza.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
True.
But so a few things. So did you guys see all the announcements? Of course, April 1st, April Fool's Day passed, so a bunch of different companies did a few different things. One of them, Heinz, came out with a baked bean bubble tea.
Done.
That
Nice.
sounds terribly
Delicious.
gross. Imagine sucking on one and then you get a baked bean just coming up the straw. Bethesda with its ESO body pillow. So you just
Oh,
snuggle up nicely.
You said ESL?
Razer, I did a double take on this one because I got an email that day. Razer had RGB hair dye.
Oh
So you can
yeah.
do the different
Oh,
colors
Jesus
for each
Christ.
strand of your hair.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Pokemon came out with the Magikarp Max raids.
Oh my god. Magikarp just.
Exactly.
I was
And
shaking like a
apparently this is
Magikarp.
the second year that Capcom did this, but they made another Street Fighter mini game, and you get turned into a cat and you play through it. I haven't gotten to play it, but I definitely want to try that.
That's
so
funny.
Awesome.
So there's that. And then also, so Mario month is over. Mario 35 is gone. But now to replace that, you're gonna have, starting tomorrow, Pac-Man 99 on the Switch.
Are you serious?
Nice.
Dead ass.
Oh,
Yes,
you know I'm in there. I'm gonna be competing in that shit. You know how I am with
Hell
Pac-Man.
yeah.
My father got one of those little Miss Pac-Man machines. It's like exactly like the arcade,
my
but like a
God.
mini version. It's like a tabletop one or whatever, and it's pretty big and it has the full size joystick and everything. He played a little bit, and I was like, I freaking destroyed
stuck
that
on it.
shit. He was like, I put the high score up on the. I was like, try to beat that. He was like, I'm never gonna be able to do that.
Jerk.
Oh man.
That's funny.
Oh man. So yeah, now you got that. I'm not sure what time it's gonna be on there, but yeah, starting tomorrow.
You know if it's OG Pac-Man, like just like the regular ass arcade Pac-Man? I hope so. If it's that, I'm nasty at that one. Cause I have a strategy the way I do it or whatever, and yo, I used to get crazy on the Nintendo version, especially.
It looks like OG Pac-Man, yeah.
All right, perfect. Oh man, that's gonna be awesome.
I like the Pac-Man EX because all the pretty colors.
Oh yeah.
That one is trippy as hell.
I've never seen that.
No? Oh, it's awesome.
No.
It's crazy.
Then, so this is a little late,
Excuse me. Sorry.
but anybody who knows me knows I love Undertale. Undertale is now on the Xbox Game Pass as of March 16th. So we're
Woo.
late. So play it.
Yeah, because we were supposed to.
Amazing.
Yeah, we're supposed to record, that week, and we didn't. So yeah, so.
Yes, I've been holding on to that for weeks now. Yes.
Oh, sure. Undertale's a
That's
great
fun.
game, especially if you do the runs correctly. You know, you get this beautiful story and then this crazy
That's
gameplay
right.
on the genocide run. So
Yeah, I
Yeah.
still have to finish up my other runs.
yeah.
Soulless pacifists and everything.
Nice.
So definitely want to do that. And last but not least, it's nothing. I mean, it's super awesome news because I completely forgot about this game, and it's coming out on the 9th. It's called Say No More. And you're an intern who keeps on getting bullied at work, and then you just say no the whole time. He's like, "Hey, intern, come get my coffee. It's over on the desk," and then you're just like, "No, no, 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 no," and then you say it in like 9, 10 different languages. So you're nine and no, and now and all the different languages.
I like
So
that.
that's gonna be fun. It comes out on the 9th, so I'm
Well,
looking forward to
nice.
that.
I saw the trailer to that, and what I like about it, it has a very like PS1 graphic style, or like DS, like the old DS, like blocky graphics. So yeah,
Yes.
so it looks like a PS1 kind of like game or whatever. It's cool though. I'm like, I saw, I was like, yeah, just trippy graphics. It was interesting, and I
Yes,
like
yes.
that that's been happening
Sounds
more too.
cathartic.
Yeah, like, right, like just, nah. Oh man.
That's really kind of all I got.
All right.
Nice. It's good news.
Thank you
That's
for that,
awesome.
Pfeffer. Again, thank you for being here and helping us with some of this, some of the indie news.
Oh, always thanks for having me.
And that moves us over to the
Topic of the day.
Hey.
So something I wanted to acknowledge, thinking about the topic. Well, this was from like 2 weeks ago, but something we've kind of ignored on this podcast are handheld video games. You know, it's a big part, I'm sure, of a lot of our childhoods and people who around our age group and stuff like that. And in the last 10 years, within 10 years of our ages, grew up with the Game Boy and Game Boy Advance and stuff like that. And now you have things like the Switch, which is a hybrid. But back in the day, freaking handhelds really held it down. No pun intended. And I want to kind of reminisce and talk a little bit about that and kind of go over some of the ones that we've experienced with tonight. That we've experienced with, and go from there. But yeah,
Nice.
I mean, I'm sure a lot of my first, obviously, and I'm sure a lot of people's first was fucking Game Boy, and it's like, why was Nintendo so fucking smart? Like, I know the story behind the whole Tetris fiasco, but whoever said that's the game we're gonna launch with is fucking genius. That really like put them on the fucking map. Like, I don't think any other game would have done that. It's kind of like what Satoru Iwata did years later with the Wii, that everybody got it because Wii Sports was fucking dope. Any grandma could play that. And you gotta admit, packing Tetris in with the Game Boy was one of the most genius fucking moves in history when it comes to a packing game. Besides Sonic the Hedgehog, that was the next one. But before that, fucking packing in that to launch the Game Boy, even with its black and white screen, no color, whatever, fucking genius. And yeah, that got me through some boring moments, long car rides. Did you guys have Game Boys and stuff like that?
Hell yes.
Yeah.
We had the battery pack that plugged into the wall,
Oh shit.
little charger. We
It's
would be
accessorizing.
rocking that. It would be me, my mom, my brother, all challenging each other for the high score in Tetris.
Oh my
Nice.
god.
We'd be rocking all those moves. We'd be sitting there taking turns. Like, damn it, I'm fucked up. Okay, okay, your turn. You're like, oh
That's
damn,
awesome.
you got me.
That's cool.
No, you cheated. You went twice.
Right?
I'm not touching you.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, the Game Boy. I mean, honestly, I don't. It's hard to fathom the world of handheld gaming without the Game Boy being like Nintendo has just always held down the game. Like for me, that's why it's so hard for me to play my Switch.
Mhm.
Like because that system is a full blown system. It's so hard for me to play that shit on my TV. Like every time I play it, it's in handheld form, just because it feels like they could leave the console market alone and thrive off of handhelds for the rest of their fucking life.
Yep.
That's how
Mhm.
strong their market is for that. Like they've just always been innovative. They always came with something new. I mean, you had the Game Boy, which, like you said, black and white screen. Then you have the Game Boy Light attachment, which was like, oh, now I could play in the dark. But then they come out with, Game Boy Color, and then the backlit screens, and it's just the evolution of it. It's like Nintendo's always a step behind, but they just do it, and then everybody fucking is like, yes, thank you. Now this shit is awesome.
Yeah.
Like every time.
Yeah, man.
Like, because they definitely do things late.
Exactly. They try, they finally caught up to them a little bit, but yeah, it's like this is like their prime, you know what I mean? Like fucking that was just, I think about it, it's just like such a genius move. Did you have Dakota, you had a Game Boy? Or
yeah, I had a Game Boy, Game Boy Color, it went up the chain. I low-key had all of them. I just they just continue the trend, like with they start with Tetris, but they always had that killer app that they included with it. And I mean, all the other companies basically followed suit eventually with the main consoles. Sony realized they needed their killer app that was tied to just their console. Microsoft tried to do the same with theirs eventually. Everybody needed that, and eventually it was Pokemon for Nintendo. But yeah, I had all their systems for the most part.
Yeah.
How could you not? They're like, you almost had, if you were a gamer, you kind of had to have them.
Exactly.
True.
What makes me sad though is, huh?
No, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna move on. Do you have one more point though?
Counterpoint.
Me? No. I was just thinking about handhelds in general. And,
yeah.
People who have like Dave said, he had pretty much all of them, and it's Nintendo always made you want to purchase these because it was always something, even if they were a little late on or behind on certain things, they always just made it feel so like good to play their games. Like
exactly.
I remember when the DS came out and being like, this fucking handheld is the greatest shit ever.
Yeah, the DS. Yeah. I was gonna say just before that it's like, it's crazy because it's like I always hated that you couldn't see it in the dark, and then again I wasn't hip enough or I didn't follow up with any of these like accessories to make that better. So it's like my cousin actually had a Game Gear, and I thought Game Gear was really cool because not for nothing I don't know if a lot of people realize this, but the Game Gear was just a portable Master System. It literally had like almost the whole innards of what the Master System was, portable, and the Master System was better than Nintendo. It was 8-bit, but it had a better color palette, and it did a little bit more. And the Game Gear was fire. Just that battery life, bro, like that. I remember we bought, and this felt like so much money back in the day. Like a pack of Duracells was like $4 for just a 4-pack, and that felt like so much money. I remember I finally begged my mother or somebody to buy us batteries, and in 4 hours I destroyed that thing playing Lion King on freaking DS. I mean DS, wow. on Game Gear. I know, right? DS would have been fire. Yeah, on Game Gear I remember playing that shit. And then you got it for Genesis. I remember how crap it was on Game Gear, but not for nothing. It wasn't a bad port for a handheld compared to the Genesis one. But yeah, like Game Gear, I think you messed around with Game Gear, right? Was I like, I remember you mentioning like you played Sonic or some shit.
Oh yeah,
back in the day. I never got to play those.
Mario. Yeah, Mario. I didn't have a Game Gear, but Mario had one, and I would often just borrow it. Like Mario was always really generous with his stuff, and he'd be like, "Oh, you could hold it," and I'd borrow it. And I remember playing a Tasmanian Devil game.
Nice.
Which was like insanely addicting. Sonic, obviously, Mortal Kombat 1.
Was that the Looney Tunes game?
The which one?
The Looney Tunes game where you play like as Bugs, you play like as all the
characters.
Oh,
no. I know what game you're talking about. But this game was just him, just the Tasmanian Devil. And bro, the same thing. Like you had to, like they were really bugging having a system like that without rechargeable batteries, bro.
Yeah, like they existed, but yeah, they
were bugging. There was no way that system could possibly work without that.
Yeah,
dude, like that shit won't last you a whole day. Like
not at all. That's right. It wasn't a 4. It was 6 batteries. That's right. You just reminded me. 6 batteries, and all of them were dead in like 4 or 5 hours. I remember.
Could you rotate like rechargeable batteries or? Did they even have rechargeable batteries?
They did. They had.
I mean,
That was my cousin had the big pack that went on the back. So yeah, you could play like that.
yeah.
I gotcha.
It was just, even the days of like, I mean, for me, it's obviously when it comes down to the handheld game, you think about Nintendo and Sega. Because, I mean, to my opinion, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the only company to really come and give Nintendo real competition in the handheld market was Sega. Like,
Right.
Sega was just giving them constant competition in every shape or form before they just submitted. Because the Game Gear was popular.
Yeah.
Like, the Game Gear, no matter, despite its weaknesses with battery life, and despite the fact that Nintendo was still more popular, the Game Gear had an attract, like, the colored screen. You had just the layout, even the fact that even now I look at the Game Gear and I'm like, shit, that like a fresh Game Gear looks dope. They're
Yeah.
bulky as shit, but a fresh Game Gear
Yeah.
looks like it was, like they put some work into that. So it's easy to get caught up in those two. But there was so many, like, I mean, the Neo Geo Pocket for me is a big one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Neo Geo Pocket for me is a big one. I had a friend in high school who would bring that his Neo Geo Pocket to school every day, and in art class, like when we had downtime, I would just play Metal Slug. Like he would just be like, "Yeah, here, play it," and he had like a blue. They used to come in like different colored cases, and he had his in like a blue case, and I remember just playing this shit like, "What the fuck? This game is sick." Like I remember just I was so into it just because it felt like you were really playing some arcade Neo Geo title.
Yo, you just reminded me, my boy Darius, you remember Darius? He had a Neo Geo Pocket and he brought it, and I think he had like SNK or some shit, or King of Fighters like mini or some shit like that. And I was like, yo, what is that? And I don't know if he had that and the Wonder Swan, because Wonder Swan's another one that like came out or whatever, but like you don't really hear too much about. But yeah, yo, the Neo Geo Pocket was a pretty fire handheld back in the day, but one of those things that got overshadowed by Sega and Nintendo. And it's true, it's like there's a huge library for the Game Gear, especially that a lot of those games were ports from Master System games, plus they brought Sonic over to it, and a lot of Disney games were on. And Disney games back in the day were made in-house by Disney, or they worked with whatever third party, because I know Capcom made some or whatever. But yeah, like, so you had some great games on that. But yeah,
They worked with Virgin too, right?
yeah, Virgin, yeah, for like the Aladdin games and stuff like that. Yeah,
They worked with Virgin.
but the artists were, I think, in-house, if I'm
man.
not mistaken.
Yeah, I think so. Another thing I thought was really awesome about about the Neo Geo Pocket was the analog stick was like a clicky analog stick. You remember that?
Wow. Yeah, this, like I said, I was only a little bit in high school.
It just felt good.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it felt good playing that system. I feel like they were kind of like ahead of the game, but it was more like a niche crowd who was into it, because Neo Geo, they're more like a cult, like
Right.
I mean, a lot of people fuck with Neo Geo, but it's like you're not gonna go. It's hard to bring a Neo Geo up now to like a gamer who's like a Chris Armis,
Right.
Like Chris Armis is into, how he's like, he loves Nintendo, but he knows his shit about all systems.
Right.
Like you could talk to him about a Neo Geo Pocket, he'll know exactly what you're talking about. There's a lot of people that you bring that shit up now and they're like, what the I never had that shit. You know what I mean? Like, so for those types, it's kind of hard to say why the system felt awesome. Like even the Neo Geo system in the arcades, wasn't it the same fucking board?
Yeah,
There were cartridges in the arcades.
Yeah, and then you could buy it for the home one, and the cartridges were like this big, or whatever. I think J&L still sells a couple of those, but yeah, and you got the arcade experience.
So virtually, what you're getting, exactly, Neo Geo was delivering the arcade experience, because all along they were giving you something that they knew they could reproduce for home. You know what I mean? It was kind of like they kept it on the same level. It wasn't like downgraded versions, like heavily downgraded versions of like arcade games.
Yep.
So I always thought that was dope, but I mean, Nintendo, bro, they've had the game in a stranglehold for a long time,
Exactly, because then came
the
Game Boy Advance, and to me, the Game Boy Advance is one of the best, you know, and still, to me, it still holds a special place because that original design, the long design, even though it didn't have the backlight, that's one of my favorite designs because it felt like it was built right into the, you know, it was built right into the, like a controller. So, you know, it had the L and the R, because they had the clamshell one, the SP, and that was cool, whatever. And that one had the built-in backlight and blah, blah. But I don't know, that original Game Boy Advance, man, like once they moved over to 32-bit, oh man, I played the shit out of that. Did you have a Game Boy Advance, Fefer?
No.
No, not at all. Not even an SP, nothing.
Those looked really nice, like you said. They look like they would fit really nicely and just play for hours. But I never had one.
Oh man.
I think it went from the original Game Boy to maybe the DS.
Yeah, if you didn't have Game Boy Advance, then yeah, the DS was next. What about you, Dakota? Did
Can
you
I
have?
ask you guys something?
Yeah.
The Advance, did it naturally have a see-through panel?
Yeah, the original,
like the body.
I believe the
Some of
original
them
one. Right? What?
Like either the buttons or like I really can't remember.
I think the first one was like a purple one. If I'm not mistaken, I think the original one was like a purple and it was see-through. Yeah.
Yeah, they had the see-through ones that came like different like jewel colors. It looked like a jewel case almost.
Oh, it was the purple one. Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying now. I forgot about that shit. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh
Was
no,
the
so
Japanese version of this exactly the same as this?
maybe. Well, yeah, you know what? Maybe it didn't. I thought I had that purple one, and I guess it wasn't see-through, but they had they definitely had them.
Yeah, they had them. I don't think the first ones they released were see-through.
They
like
weren't,
that. I think
yeah,
those
they
are all
weren't.
special editions. And
Yeah.
okay.
I think I did have the see-through one, or maybe I
Okay.
knew somebody with it.
they were pretty popular. I do remember I'd see people that had them a lot. Like they
I saw-
definitely were like the preferred version of them. It felt like.
Right.
Yeah, like my memory of it before you mentioned purple was always just the one that kind of had like that lavender kind of case, but it was see-through. You could see like the circuits.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
that's the one I remember. Like you think about that comes to mind. But yeah, man, fucking Nintendo, strong. They strong in the game market. Period. Held it down with the handheld games. I mean the handheld system market, but what I wanted to see the PS Vita or like the PSP take the fuck off, bro.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted.
I was
Sony
really
had the
rooting
best
for the
chance.
N-Gage.
The N-Gage.
Me and
Oh my god, the N-Gage.
I was
oh my
rooting
God.
for it. Had so many
Me and-
buttons.
Me and Games have an ongoing 20-year fucking joke about the Engage.
Yeah, because I was
I did.
a little history. I was stuck in Cali. So yeah, not stuck, but I was that's when I was in Cali. And
I was abandoned.
and I was bored out of my mind, so I would call up Jose every
What were
now
you
and
doing
then.
out there, Games?
Fucking dumb broads, bro. But not what you call it?
And that's how we ended up with the Game Boy Micro.
Wait, what? Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. I actually bought the Game Boy Advance Micro back. I'm so mad I left that with that stupid woman. Anyway, we started talking mad shit, and I was like, "Yo, did you see the N-Gage?" He was like, "Man, nobody cares about the N-Gage or some shit like." Oh no, it was already passed. I was like, "What are you trying to play Super Splinter Brothers on that shit?" Oh, because I said you could play Splinter Cell, and I thought it was cool, and then you went and said Super Splinter Brothers. Like nobody wanted to play Super Splinter Brothers on that whack ass. Oh my god.
Super Splitter Brothers.
That's fucking awesome.
I remember that vividly because he was like, "Yo, like you could play Splinter Cell. Like they got a bunch of games here. This shit's actually pretty cool." And I was like, "Yo, nobody want to play this shit. This shit's gonna die, bro. Like the system is gonna be a fucking failure."
Yeah, I don't know what
And
Nokia was
sure
thinking.
enough.
Sure called it.
You know what? I still want one though, just to be able to say, "Yo, look at this bullshit."
I would take it. Hell yeah, I would take one in a heartbeat. Like, give me that shit. I don't know how much money I'd pay for one, but hell yeah.
Who made that bullshit ass system?
It was Nokia. It was Nokia because the whole
Engage? Yeah, it was in Nokia.
yeah, because the whole selling point was like you could play video games and make phone calls, but then you had to hold the fucking thing like this. You know, so you could play games like that, but then you have to hold it sideways to be on your phone like that. That's how you have to talk on it. It made no sense. And then it was
That's
bulky.
really fucking stupid.
Yeah,
I'm looking at a picture of it right now, and it's just the most befuddling thing that ever fucking existed. Like, how
Exactly.
did they even think this would? There's like a
Bro,
whole number pad on the right side, like an entire fucking number pad.
This
exactly.
shit is
Yeah.
god awful just looking at it. Look at
That
the.
shit is
This is
fire.
what I'm saying. Look how much this is going for online. The Nokia Engage Classic Edition gaming T-Mobile US14 game set. It comes with a bunch of games, right? Splinter Cell, Requiem of Hell. Oh, another Splinter Cell, Chaos Theory.
Oh my god.
Ashen, Tomb Raider starring Lara Croft. Okay. X-Men Legends. They make it sound like this is the first time she's been in the game and shit.
Let's talk about prices, baby. What we looking at here? What's the damage?
Pocket Kingdom. This shit is $1,300.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'll give you a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and an
Give you a
old
firm handshake.
Yankee fitted cap.
Oh my god.
Does anybody have change for a button?
Right.
yeah, that's a bit too much for me, dog. 1,300.
For that shit,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
that you wouldn't even want to open if it's sealed or whatever. That's still go in the closet. I'm not paying.
Does it even turn on? Probably not, right?
The thing is, I don't. Who knows? Because
Probably-
the shit with that thing was that you had to take the whole battery out just to put in the cartridge for the game. So it was just a horribly made system. To pop the back
Hey,
off.
you want to change your game? Cool. Just turn your whole fucking device off. Fucking take
Right?
Oh
Like,
my
I was trying to
God.
call you. I was changing
this shit
games.
is
What you want from me?
stupid.
Got
Yeah,
to
my
change the
bad.
cartridge out.
I'm looking at this shit now, like, bro,
I was
who's
trying to call the cops, but forgot I was playing Mario, so I can't do that.
Right?
this shit look like a regular phone? It looked like the house phones that like with the chargeable base.
Yeah.
That's what this shit looks
Yeah,
like.
it's something.
Because the thing that I
tiny
thought
ass screen,
was
too.
cool about it was that it had fucking 3D, Tomb Raider 1 for, the PS1 game on a handheld. And to me, that like blew my mind a little bit because I was like, that's why I think it came up. I was like, yo, that's so cool. You could play freaking Tomb Raider on a handheld. I thought that was awesome, but it was mad expensive too, if I'm not mistaken.
You were wrong.
Yeah. And
Yeah, I think it was pricey.
yeah. Oh my
You're
God.
crazy with that shit, man.
I don't think I ever knew anybody who had one.
I knew one person.
Yeah, I never met anybody who had one.
I had one
Really?
person that I worked with at the stationery store who he was one of those dudes that had like everything cool or stupid or whatever, like any like gadget that came out, he like had it first or whatever. And I mean, that's me now, but but yeah, he had. I was like, yo, you had the N-Gage? He was like, yeah. And then I saw him put it sideways to make a phone call. I was like, you gotta hold it. I think that's what I was like.
He thought he was killing the game.
Yeah.
No way. He definitely thought he was badass. He's like, hold on 1 second.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'll be right back, yeah.
Holy
My
shit.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Oh,
The
man.
original launch price was $299.
Exactly. That's
$300.
and we're talking 2002 or 3 or whatever, whenever that dropped.
Yeah, no way. Not for that.
They're bugging with that type of bread. Like, there was no way I was buying that bullshit. As a matter of fact, what year was that?
03.
03. Nah, they wildin'. What the fuck did they think they were gonna do?
I have no
what
idea.
were the sales on that piece of shit? Let's look that up.
3 million worldwide.
Right?
Yeah.
That's a lot
No,
to
seriously,
me.
that's 3 million.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, it is
that's
3
it.
million? Damn, that's
Yeah.
somebody out there was happy with that shit.
Which is more than I thought. Yeah, because that seems like a lot
But worldwide, yeah, I can see
For-
that.
for that. I mean,
Maybe in
maybe
Japan or maybe in other countries,
3 million people bought telephones and they're like, oh shit, it does games too. Look at this.
right?
You guys ready?
Honey, check this out. Look at this. Look at this.
I'm
You
ready.
guys ready for these stats?
I'm ready.
Okay. There is some disagreement in sources about the actual number of N-Gage decks sold. Nokia initially claimed 400,000 sales in the first 2 weeks the deck was available. However, the independent market research firms Chart Track and Arcadia Research claimed that N-Gage has sold only 5,000 decks in the United States in that time,
Yeah.
and 800 decks in the UK, Critics suggested Nokia was counting the number of decks shipped to retailers, not the number actually purchased by consumers. Nokia later admitted this was the truth. In 2004, Nokia claimed in a press release that it had shipped its millionth deck, represented as a company milestone despite falling short of the company's initial projection of 6 million decks by the end of 2004.
They thought it
However,
was a 6
this
million?
number shipped does not give a reliable picture of the actual sales of the deck. Nokia ultimately shipped 3 million engaged decks by 2007.
Damn, 2007
Wow.
took that many years to ship 3 million. Yo,
It took
that
4
shipped,
years
that's-
to bro.
where
I've-
are them things at
I've
though?
eaten 3 million chicken wings in less time.
Ford discovered a use for them as a fucking a stabilizer in their cars. They add fucking strength to the chassis.
Right? Like, yo, I believe that
engaged parts should just be used for GPS.
I was in the hospital the
Maybe that
other
is what they probably parted them out.
yeah, because I'm like in the and there's this in the hospital they have these refrigerators where they have to add these like these sensors or something, and no lie, they're freaking OG iPods. They look just like the OG iPod, slightly changed, and I'm like, I could see that it has that
Yeah.
BS old screen, like the digital, like, no, you know, if I don't even remember the original iPod, or maybe second or third generation, but one of those early iPods, it looked just like that. I'm like, I bet you that's just old stock or some shit, you know, unsold shit, and you know, repurposed.
Yeah, they had to do something with that shit. Those
Yeah.
factory dyes still fucking exist. They
Yeah.
sell it to another company. They, you know, make
Yeah,
their
they sell
own
the
shit.
patent. That's what
Yeah.
it is.
Mhm.
They sell the
Mhm.
patent to the whole fucking design. That's what happened with that Jaguar / dental machine.
Oh
that J-Bams has.
yeah, exactly.
Say one now.
There's a there's
Our
a
boy Jay. Shout out J-Bams, man.
yeah, he is a they repurposed a Jaguar for a dental machine. That's a machine that dentists use or whatever. And if you look at it, it changed it. They modified it slightly, but it's a dead ass Jaguar, and it's part of like
They changed a feline animal jaguar into
Yeah, it's like a white and blue device. It's the exact same shape though. You can even put a
an
cartridge
Atari
in it.
Jaguar.
It just has no mechanism to take it.
I got you.
This
That's dope.
stupid ass. They took a feline, folded it up.
I was like, avant-garde. Okay.
But why was the DS's stylus such trash though? Like having a stylus such trash. I'm sorry, that shit was mad annoying. Like I love
For
the
the most
DS.
part, there were certain games that needed it though.
No,
and I loved
like I said, I loved the ones that used it, but the fact that the ones they forced it on you to run, like in
Right.
Zelda, you have to run with the stylus. Like, yo, just let me use the damn D-pad. Like, come on, like make some of the other games, you know,
Yeah.
like make some mini games or fishing or puzzles. Like that
Right.
game should have been with the D-pad and then have cool puzzles with the stylus. That would have made so much more sense. Then I loved it. Don't get me wrong, I loved the DS. I loved that it was super backward compatible, the original one at least. And then when the Lite came out, that one was really cool because then you could play. I mean, you know, you couldn't play the original Game Boy games, but you could still play Game Boy Advance games or whatnot, plus all the new stuff. And it was easy to hack. So I bought a bunch of games, but then hacking it with the R4 was awesome. So
That was great.
I remember that. I forgot
the
about
hours
that
me
shit.
and Fefer spent, right? Remember we bought the white one? You bought it for me. That's all.
Oh yeah, we bought each other the white DS.
Yeah.
Adorable.
And then I told Danielle that I found it. She's like, "You found that?" I was like, "Yeah, I just found it.
It's nice and shiny.
Yeah, brand new. I don't know. Somebody must have lost this brand
Yeah.
new DS."
Crazy.
But yeah, no. But like you said,
Do you guys remember? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
well, I was gonna say the PSP, because I had that the day it launched, and
Mhm.
that became my favorite console. Like for a
I
while.
would say you loved that fucking PSP, bro.
I did love the PSP because
I remember you had a phase where you were nuts with that shit.
yeah, because I was
Shit was
I was
crazy.
hacking. I was modding them for P. I was the only
Yeah.
person on Craigslist in New York hacking PSPs. So yo, I was
Oh, yeah.
going ham with that. because you
King of
had
New York, baby. King of New York.
yeah for like a month, and then everyone started undercut. I was doing $40 a pop to mod it, $40, and if you wanted to update it later, like when system updates came out, I charged you another 20 to do the update, and people were coming through
Hit
for a
him over the
minute.
head, dog.
Yeah, it was.
And
That's
you were,
hilarious.
Yeah, this dude
I'm a
I used,
hustler. I'm a hustler.
I was working at a place called Mailbox Etc. by right by BMCC, and he was like, wait, you're the only one doing it? He was like, yo, this is what you're gonna do. He was like, just tell them, like, feel free. He told me how to word my Craigslist post. He was like, have them come here if you want. They can, you stand outside outside real quick. I love that job. And he was just like, it's $40, and if they want to upgrade, then you charge them a little less. And he broke it down. Yo, I was making some bread. And then after a while, I stopped getting calls, and I did a search on Craigslist. People were doing it for $10. I was like, damn. I was like, everybody learned how to do this shit now.
Yeah.
And mad people were like $20, $10,
The game got oversaturated.
Yup. I was the only. I could not believe I was the only one either. And everybody would call me. Oh, can you do it? How much for it? You can't do it cheaper. I was like, no, you could play games after that. You know, what's the cost of one game, and I'll give you a game if you want. And then so they would hang up, and they would call me like an hour later.
Kneecaps.
Right. But yeah, no. But even before that,
protect
though.
your fucking business, bro.
Yeah, no, just like even before that though, the DS was, I mean the PSP, I don't know, I just love the whole like throwing in the little discs in there, and the color screen was fire. You could watch movies on that shit. Like the PSP was fire. That's why it's so sad that the Vita just they fucking took a shit on that, because the Vita was also dope. I love the Vita.
Yeah.
What was that?
I actually like the Vita. It could have been so much better. Just the way that they had the the back buttons, the
Yeah, the
L
back.
and the R.
Exactly.
And
They
then
didn't
you
have
had to
L2 and R2 on the Vita, which I think is one of the dumbest mistakes that they made.
Yeah.
Like, how are you going to promote the PS4 compatibility and PS3, PS4 and saying you can start a game on the Vita and continue it on the PS4, but then you don't have L2 and R2? That shit made no sense. I don't know.
Yeah, that was a really bad move.
Yeah.
That's
You
kind
know,
of crazy.
speaking of handhelds, I'm gonna name one that I'm pretty sure people don't fucking think about ever. Do you guys remember the Tiger Electronics Gamecom?
Gamecom?
Yeah, the Game.com. It was a big gray, kind of looked like it kind of looked like a Game Gear, but it was the first portable to have internet. It had internet and it had the touchscreen even before Nintendo.
Oh shit. No, I don't think
You
mean,
you remember? You know what I'm talking about? The Gamecom. Look it up.
I'm looking at it right now. I've never seen this fucking thing in my life.
You guys never seen this?
Actually, I'm lying. I might have seen it just because I remember the stylus thing on the bottom.
Yeah, the Tiger Electronics. You remember this, Daniel?
Hold on,
The
let me
Tiger
see.
Electronics, the Gamecom.
I feel like the only people playing this are people who had like pocket protectors.
I
and,
remember
like,
this.
bifocal.
Yes.
I don't know why, but
Yeah, I remember this. I remember this.
wait, and this is the smaller version?
Yeah, this is like that was the main one.
Oh, there's a better one. How about the R Zone? The R Zone was fucking fire.
R Zone. That sounds mad familiar.
Huh.
Remember where everything was like in red?
Oh
That was also
yeah,
Tiger.
that goes over your eye. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, but they had handhelds with this
Ew.
shit too. Wow.
What happened?
It looks like they had a handheld
And I
version of
mean-
the R Zone.
Yeah.
Or is that what
That's
only
what I was
what it
looking at
was?
now.
Right? Is it only a handheld with the eyepiece?
Mm.
I don't even know now. Yeah,
Oh,
because
well,
I see.
maybe, yeah, because then I'm thinking of when Nintendo had their run at it.
Well, that was the Virtual Boy.
Yeah, the Virtual Boy, yeah.
Yeah, that
What
was all
about
in red.
I remember playing that in Blockbuster, they had it. So I'd go to Blockbuster, like, play the demo that they had.
Yeah, for us it was the Wiz. Nobody beats the Wiz. That they had the
The Wiz.
Virtual Boy
Yeah.
that up with
Nice.
the Jaguar, not too far.
Yeah,
Oh man.
it's awesome.
What about the?
And I guess the Dreamcast memory card actually serves as a handheld, the VMU.
Yo,
True.
that we've talked about that before, and
That was my
that
shit.
I have to say, like that, I don't know. I think that was such a genius idea, and it way ahead of its time. And it's like that's what
Yeah.
gaming is missing. It's missing like certain cool like they need to, everything has to be built in, because people don't buy you know, you have to have an adoption rate, you know what I mean? So that's why they try to do the Connect, have it included so developers make shit for it. And it's like, I just feel like that's what's missing. It's like something that's easy to make like games for, like, you know, interface with the console without it just being video games. Like, I think we have a good start with this PlayStation controller and, you know, the PS5 controller doing what it does, but it's like, you know, like something like the VMU was really cool because, you know, you had games that could transfer, the whole Chow Garden from Sonic and that was during Tamagotchi, when Tamagotchi was at its height. So, you know, you could feed your little child, do it, and you could battle them because they connected. And my boy Darius, we used to have them shits connected at lunch in high school. Freaking like, yeah, beat your ass.
It's awesome. Yeah, man, it's just like tougher now, I guess, because it's like games are such a big business now to take a risk like that.
Exactly.
And spend millions and millions of dollars on it.
No, so like, look at the Connect. Nobody wants that.
I want to risk it. So
you want any other Fefer, any other handheld memories or anything that you remember having or getting or back in the day?
I was actually gonna mention, we have to go even further back. Do you remember the Game & Watches, like the original Game & Watches with like the Popeye on the boat and Bluto and the ball, and you have to catch the stuff because Bluto's like tossing shit.
Right.
Or like the original Donkey Kong. Or there was one.
Game & Watch?
Yeah, or I remember there was one, I think it was like a fast one, that you would have to go hang clothes out to dry, and then you'd have to shoot over and then press the button to hang the clothes, but then there
I
were little
remember
clothes
that. I don't know where I played that.
with the clothes.
Wow.
Yeah, I played
That's
the clothing
Who
one.
made those?
Well, I mean, Nintendo did a few of them, but I don't know if it was like just Nintendo or a mix of like.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
there's a few of those. Those I remember. I
Probably
have
all
no
these
idea what.
crazy companies that disappeared after this one product.
Right.
Right?
Like Microvision, I've never even seen this. The first handheld game that used interchangeable cartridges was Microvision, the blockbuster.
Provision.
Milton Bradley made this thing. Holy shit.
Oh wow.
Wow, that's like
That's
Tiger
crazy.
Electronics was reigning supreme for a long time.
yeah, Tiger was dropping a lot of stuff.
Like they were, you know what's crazy? They didn't even have to they weren't even competing with Nintendo. It was just its own thing.
Right.
Yeah, they were like kind of going the cheap route, I guess.
Yeah, like when you,
Just kinda-
there were a few Tiger Electronics. I think for most people, it was the packaging, because the games itself couldn't hold a fucking candle to games
No.
that were on the Game Boy. But when you look
No.
at a brand new Tiger Electronics Mortal Kombat that was like solid black with orange, and you know what I mean,
Yup.
it just looks attractive. It looked attractive.
Yeah.
To this day, if you have like a Tiger Electronics like Little Mermaid or some shit, that shit's probably worth a lot.
No, it's true. It's true. I always wanted one of those because they look cool. Like it was like the Nintendo boxes that, you know, it didn't represent the game at all, but it just looked dope as fuck. And they just look so pleasing to the eye. You want to press the buttons and see what it does. And some games are actually alright. You know what I mean? Like, if you know, it's just they were just they were just crap compared to like a real game. You know what I mean? But I mean, they held the time down for 10 minutes. You know.
I feel like I've seen this one somewhere. The Game Mate or Game Mate, maybe Game Mate. I don't know why.
What is like another handheld?
Yeah, it's pretty
Shit's
cool.
it's all black with yellow buttons. I don't know. This looks like something I've definitely seen before.
What about the Gizmondo? You guys remember that?
I know that name.
No, I do not. Who made the Nomad?
The Gizmondo
That was Sega.
Tiger also.
Oh, a friend of mine definitely had the Nomad, the Genesis Nomad.
Oh, the Sega Nomad?
Sega
Hell
Nomad,
yeah. That played Genesis games.
Yeah, the full card. That's what I was playing at J Bam's house. He had the freaking Nomad there, and I was freaking playing Sonic or something. Yeah, I was playing some shit on there. I was like, yo, that was fire. That thing was actually
That's
pretty
awesome.
cool. The screen sucks,
I was gonna
but
say, yeah, I remember it was pretty decent. Like it was pretty much the same experience as on console at the time.
And you could connect a second controller to it for 2-player games.
Oh, I didn't
And
even
I
know
think it
that.
had
That's
TV out. If I'm
fire.
not mistaken, it had TV out as well, so it could
Come
actually
on, man.
act
Had a
as a.
DPI output, HDMI, had
You
Thunderbolt
also
3.
had. You guys remember the PSP Go?
Yes, that slide up joint. Yeah.
No, wait, the PSP Go.
That's what a lot of
Yeah.
people were worried about too, about the whole fact that that's only, it didn't have the disc, you know, the UMD or whatever it was called. Yeah, that's what it was, the UMD mini
Yeah.
disc slot. It was just downloadable games. So if you have one now, that's it. You can't buy game. Well, once they close the store, the PS3 and PSP stores down, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess the fears were correct.
I mean, you can re-download your games. I mean, that's as long as companies continue to do that, I don't see the problem too much. If there's no new games coming out, there's no reason to keep the servers up. But as long as I can re-download my game, then fine. You know, I want to see how long that's gonna last. Like when they're gonna shut down the first servers that don't let you re-download your PS3 games and stuff like that. If that ever happened, which I think it will eventually.
Yeah.
Like once you hit a certain mark, it'll be like,
Eventually,
all right,
yeah, they're gonna,
yeah, what you can.
I mean,
because,
worst comes to, not even worst comes to worst, but at the very least, I think like it just happened to somebody, I think, but you know, the game servers are burned down, and that's it, no backup. Sorry. Whoops.
Rust. Yeah.
yeah, Rust.
Yeah, Rust.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, so you know, it'll just be one of those situations. Who knows? It might burn down on purpose.
By mistake on purpose.
By mistake on
I mean,
purpose.
Won't lie, I'm very happy.
I don't know how.
Right.
I'm very happy that we're done with that era of experimental like mobile games where they were like, oh, play Street Fighter 4 on your iPhone, and it was like, this shit is trash.
Yeah, the 3DS.
Like,
we didn't talk about 3DS. That was the Street Fighter 4 was one of the launch titles, if I'm not mistaken. And
Yeah.
it was
3DS?
kind of cool. Yeah, on the 3DS. And it was kind of cool. And they had the whole like behind Ryu, and you can do like fireballs and you know, see it in 3D. 3D was trash on the DS. That shit always made me feel crazy after like 15 minutes. It was just like, the only cool one was Pokemon X and Y. Actually was kind of cool doing some of the battles in 3D, like the depth or whatever. But other than that, the 3D was not that great on the 3DS. But the 3DS was a great system, I have to admit. Like I really enjoyed playing games on that thing. I think we played the shit out of it. And that's when they kind of stepped away from the whole stylus needs to be included in everything. So once they stepped away from that, that's when Nintendo shined again. You know what I mean? You had a successor to the GBA in a sense. And then now you got the Switch. And the Switch, like you said, it's like, as much as I enjoy the Switch, I think that it's still hanging on to being a home console is kind of holding it back. And I kind of wish they you know, like, it's cool that they're coming out with a more powerful one. But at the end of the day, it's like easy and, you know, indie is thriving because those are the best games to play on the go. Something you could just pick up, play a little bit of, and put it away. And it's like, I kind of wish Nintendo would focus on making games like that as well as their bigger titles. Like, yes, make your Mario Odysseys and Zeldas, but yo, give us some dope like handheld like specific games too, you know, like focus on something on that.
Yeah,
well,
like
something that I not interrupt, but like something I think that I just thought about it now, but you just saying that kind of clicked, and you too, Jose, and I'm just thinking about it as well. Like I don't really touch my Switch very much, and I'm looking at all the handhelds now, and one thing that, and also again, because talking about the PlayStation Vitas, I remember hearing a lot, and I was going to ask earlier, but the Vitas always had trouble, like longevity issues. And one thing that Nintendo always did was their handhelds were rugged. You never felt bad just throwing it in your bag, throwing it in your pocket. And with the Switch, I feel very delicate. I don't want to take that fucking thing anywhere. And so I think that's a big reason why I don't use mine, at least. It's like, it has a massive screen. I don't want to scratch it. I just feel like it's going to fucking snap and I'll be shit out of luck.
Yeah, I admit that you're right. And that's why the smaller one is actually worth it. Like this one is
that
cool.
looks nice. Yeah, that's
like
smaller.
this is a cover on it as well, so don't get me wrong, but still, like, that's why they went ham trying to sell these, because this is probably, to me, I feel like what they should do is just, just make this shit, What was I thinking? It
Just
was
keep them
like,
separate, man. Keep your home console, and your handheld.
yeah, and it's like, I mean, it's
Yeah.
cool that this plays Switch games or whatnot. I mean, you know, like it plays the full-fledged games or whatever, but I feel like what they should just do is like when you make your next one, you know what I mean? Like make a Switch 2, just keep this going. You know what I mean? You can keep this going for a long time because you don't need that much power to run most indie games. You know what I'm saying? So keep this separate, have the docked one, have the more power, and you know, whatever, and you know, or you just build everything into the dock. And I, you know, yeah, it's cool to run some of your games on the go, but I feel like I'd be more than happy if they said you can't run the latest, I don't know, fucking what's a you know, Call of Duty's on Switch, but you can't run it in handheld. You know what I mean? Like you got to be docked so that you can get the power. Like I think I'd be fine with that. I think a lot of people would be fine with that, you know, but
Bro,
Absolutely, yeah.
what they need to do is create a brand new, like in the next few years, come out like let's say they wait like 3 years to come out with this new version of the Switch, right? Which we know is not going to happen. It's probably coming out the end of this year. But if they waited,
Hope so.
they could come out with an upgraded version of the Switch, something with a new screen, something with new tricks or whatever, bells and whistles. Imagine if Nintendo just came out with a new Famicom. Like, well, imagine them going that route and naming it like the, you know, the Ultra Famicom or whatever, and making that shit like a for real stationed console. Go back to like keeping it as a console, but make it that you can mount the Switch onto that and do your name like you're just able to play on the screen and on your Switch. Keep them as two separate devices that work together. That way, I'm not here taking my fucking Switch. Like it's really hard for me to play that Switch and see it as a home console. I don't see it as a home console. It's hard.
it's true. Or take it a step further, like you said,
like shot at. What's going on, Jose? You Gucci?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Kong versus Godzilla's playing, and
oh yeah, you see Matt
I was like,
flashing.
bro,
You're gonna get a freaking, if you have epileptic seizures, please do not look at Jose's part of the screen. But what I was gonna say was, with all this cloud gaming and all that, imagine again, you can play your local games here, your less powerful games, and if you want to play a more intensive game, which they already kind of have, because you can play Control, if I'm not mistaken, and Resident Evil 3 on Switch through cloud. They have cloud game, but you got to pay for the full game. So but imagine being able to just run it from your house. You know what I mean? Where you want to play the latest and greatest, you know, technically advanced game or whatever, you know, but on the go, and you know, then you can stream it. That's how they should have it. That way you can play your local little indie games, whatever Switch games have already come out, you know, and then when you're home, you can dock it, play the game right there locally, and then when you're on the go, you can continue the game like that. And that's what they should have kept pushing with the fucking Vita, with the Vita and the PlayStation. That's why I'm like, I had the perfect combo right there. The fact that I could play
that was the dream that they sold.
Yeah, like I could play my PS4 anywhere in the house. That was dope. And you know, you can still do that right now, but the PS5, they took that away. So it's like, for the Vita at least. So it's like, I don't know, what are y'all thinking? Like, you know, that's all you could have kept selling Vitas like crazy. Just drop the price, add that, you know, do a redesign with the L2 and R2, and say, hey, stream your games. And if, hey, indie devs, you want to throw the games on there too for extra sales, boom, there you go. Even if they didn't really make any games themselves, like, you know, that's like, I don't know. They really, they dropped the ball. I don't know if what happened there, but
sad story.
But yeah,
you know what's, I mean, ugly. We're on the topic, man. 2DS. I hate that system.
Oh yeah.
Oh god.
Whose fucking idea? That's a Tiger Electronic ripoff.
Right? Exactly.
Like Tiger did it because that was just something that worked for them in like 1992. Like you don't need to do this shit in like 2010.
Because that was their answer to like the more rugged for the little kid, and I get it, because that was for the little kid. But it's like, yeah, that was such a bum console. Like I don't know.
Say that's an ugly fucking console, dog.
What a fucking ugly console, bro! I'm looking at this bullshit right now.
I don't even remember this thing.
Like,
was this out for like a month, and then they were like, no.
Toast.
Right? Like some Texas toast.
Yeah, this is bad,
Chris had that. Remember? Cablevision.
It's like a Fisher Price fucking console.
I remember him bringing that shit to school. I mean, to school, to work. I remember that. And then Chris, shout out to Chris, because Chris hits me up often, and he'll just be like, "Yo, man, I listen to the podcast all the time. Like, it's true what you guys are saying. Like, he'll comment on things that we talk about,
Yeah.
on the podcast. So shout out to Chris. But I remember him coming through with that 2DS and being like, "Yo, bro, what the fuck? What is that, bro?" Like, keep that shit. If I'm not mistaken, his shit was red.
I think
And
it
I remember
was.
being like, "Yo, Armis, man, listen, man. Like,
The red see-through one?
I need you to never bring that shit to work again." You feel me? Like, that shit looks like it'll hurt you.
Exactly. Oh
It
man.
looks like the version they made specifically for McDonald's, so they could chain it up, and kids can't walk away with it. You know,
Right?
Made for your Happy
Just have it there, stuck to the freaking.
exactly. Hard as rubber mount thing on it.
Oh man. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, these handhelds are cool. I'm like, they do the job, but it's like now Apple, their Apple Arcade, like they're getting some big names, and exclusive. Like games they're getting like exclusivity deals for Apple Arcade, and then they're moving over to like the Switch and other stuff. So, if you have an iPhone, that's something to keep an eye on. Google has their own like version of like, you pay $5 a month and you get unlimited games. I mean, access to games that you can play unlimited that don't have any microtransactions, that are just full-fledged games. So they're trying to compete, but it's almost like they're competing in the sense that the way PS Now is competing with Game Pass. It's like it's there, but it's not really the answer to Game Pass. Like Game Pass is obviously superior to PS Now, even though it has its strengths. Game Pass is superior, just like Apple Arcade is becoming very superior to any, and it's going to be a force to be reckoned with. I feel it needs a couple of years, but Apple Arcade is gonna be, I think, the next is gonna compete with Nintendo for the handheld space. And if they blow up, that could be, that could be a problem.
That's a bold claim, man.
I'm just saying, I said it's gonna take time, but because they have AAA developers working on games, like Square just released a full-fledged. I'm talking about full-fledged, no they promised no microtransactions, no pay to win, no pay to, it's just full-fledged. Games, regular games that don't have the cash shop.
I believe it. Listen, I believe it, because games, like, it's billions and billions of dollars now. Apple definitely wants a piece of that, and not for nothing, but Apple's been doing a great job. And I mean, I've been pretty diehard Android for a long time, but I'm pretty close to hopping off this train. The fragmentation issue never got solved by Google, and I'm noticing that certain apps that I use between the two, like I have an iPad as well. So between the iPad and my phone and things like that, I'm noticing that the same exact app will work completely different on Apple devices, and it works better, smoother, way more features. And I'm just like, the fuck? I pay for this just the same way on Android, and you're telling me it's a subpar product just because it's on Android and it's all fragmented? Like, that sucks.
Yeah, that does suck. Exactly. And that's why
Android is losing me. They got to fix that.
It's true. Like Android, I'm kind of over it. Like I really don't care anymore. The only reason is just that, like, so I help my parents with iPhone, so sometimes just seeing some of the, I guess since I've just been with Android since day one, the G1, back in 2008, I think it was. I've seen it grow, and it kind of gotten attached like to it just in that respect. So I know it, but it's true. It's like I don't play a whole lot. I don't do a whole lot of productivity. So having one ecosystem or changing ecosystems probably wouldn't be the biggest deal right now, because I don't do a huge amount of stuff on my phone. But and then like I said, and now iPhone's coming out. It might be worth it maybe for an iPad, but like the Apple Arcade, like the fact that good games are coming out on there that I can't play anywhere else is kind of making it like one of those, like, damn, like I'm missing out, so but yeah,
it's why introduce an Android OS when you don't need it? You have Windows, you got Apple, and all right,
exactly.
Why am I going to introduce a third one for what?
So it's like, I'm just, I hear you on that a lot. It's just, I don't know, it's one of those like like,
listen, I would never expect you to come to that side.
It'll take a little bit more, I feel like, like I said, like I'm like, I just have too much right now integrated with Android or Google products, that it does make it easier, like, using the like, I use their Keep, I use the documents for the thing. I have a subscription to the Google Drive, so it's like you know,
Time to unpair yourself from it, friend.
I mean, it's like I said, it wouldn't be the most. Plus, Google products are on iOS anyway, so I would have to do like a test or like maybe get an iPad first, and if I see like okay, I like then buy have the phone. What my mistake was that it was with my job. They offered. He was like, "What do you prefer, Apple or Android?" And I said Android. I'm like, I should have just said Apple and said, "Give me the free iPhone." Shit, I'll take it for free. Y'all paying for it.
Hell yeah.
Lose it every 2 years and get a upgrade.
Get a new upgrade.
Cause I had a GS7. I legitimately lost it. And they sent me an upgraded phone. I was like, yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, maybe I can ask for one when this phone gets old. But yeah. But I think we covered a lot today. This is kind of a longer episode than anticipated. Anything you wanted to add, Fefer? You've been kind of quiet tonight.
Oh, I was actually gonna say, I mean, talking about handheld, kind of bringing it back up. Don't forget about that play date that's coming out this year.
Oh yeah, with the crank, right?
With the crank, yeah.
All right.
Still waiting on a release date. Still waiting on it.
Yeah,
Cool. That would be cool for indie developers for sure. That would be fine.
And it looks just like which Nintendo was that?
The DS, the SP, not the DS, the GBA SP, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
There's another
like
one coming out too that got pushed back. I forgot the name of it. It's like it's supposed to play all, I think, physical cartridges from the original Game Boy to the Game Boy Advance or DS. I can't remember. No, I think it's just Game Boy to Game Boy Advance. So it played Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance cartridges, if I'm not mistaken. And it was supposed to come out, I think, this month or next month, and then it got pushed back to like October. But that's another one.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's
Evercade?
What?
Evercade?
Is it Evercade? I don't know.
I see something cartridge-based retro gaming handheld. Oh no, it was released last year apparently.
Okay, then this is one. I forgot now where I saw it at, but yeah, it recently got pushed back. And it's gonna play old games though, so that's pretty cool. I'm surprised something like that could even come out, but aftermarket stuff always comes out. I guess those are things that are super old anyway.
Yeah, that's cool.
But yeah, so we'll see what the future holds.
Yeah, man.
Like I said, cloud gaming is another thing that's taking over handhelds, and being able to play PC games on my phone is pretty awesome. Playing with the freaking Razer Kishi for that's kind of taken over my handheld life there. So, and then you have all those attachments for the game. Like if you want to play old Game Boy games emulated on your phone, they have that one where you can legit pop in Game Boy games, and it looks like a half a Game Boy, and you put your phone on top of it, and you can play. It feels so legit. I actually played the hell out of that for a bit until I got my Razer one.
Sturdy.
That's cool.
Yeah, and it's sturdy up.
That's cool.
Yeah, so. But all right, I think we should wrap it up here. This was a great one. Thank you guys. Thank you, Fefer, for being here. I appreciate you. And say that again.
I said thanks so much.
All right, no problem.
Thanks,
Thank you. And I guess we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Later.
Bye.
Deuces.